I am the American flag.
The world has changed dramatically in the past 28 years. 28 years ago, today, I delivered a message entitled, I am the American flag. Try to think what history was swirling at that time. The American flag makes the statement. Listen to it. I am the American flag. I will speak from the wisdom of a long life. I first felt the vigor of wind in my multicolored face when I unfurled my 13 stars over 200 years ago. I looked down and see horses with their clattering hoofs pulling rattling carriages over cobblestone streets. And since then, I've looked up to see silver jets streak across stunning skies of blue. I have known over 40 presidents. I have unfurled my pride on sailing ships, steamers, mighty vessels of armed power to bring peace, freedom to oppressed people of the world. I have traveled far, farther than any other flag in history, across continents, oceans, deserts, and even on the chilly, snow-white tip of a mighty Saturn with its blazing engine, until I was planted through the silent seas of space and stand on the gray surface of the shining moon. I have lived long. I have seen much. I have heard a lot. Now, listen to me. I have earned the right to be heard. I was in the hand of my first president in the blood and snow of Valley Forge. I was there when this little nation was born, small, with a wilderness at her back, seas at her side, and not a single friendly neighbor to whom she could, as a struggling infant, call for help in distress. She was alone in the wilderness. I saw that. I saw that child survive and grow strong to belch smoke from steel furnaces and to break virgin prairie until wastelands were blanketed by fields of ripening grain. I flew on to ride from steel girders, topping out skyscrapers in New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. I have paid a price to earn the right to speak. The price paid for my freedom of speech is a price most people are forgetting all the time. Most forget, but I do not. Never could I. I always still see in my memory those bright, beautiful young men who died for me at Pork Chop Hill. You never heard of it? You should. Verdun? What was that, you say? Normandy, Iwo Jima, Pearl Harbor, the Coral Sea, Okinawa, Corregidor, and the Asian jungles half a world away, where some bones have not yet been found, but they are there. And when they died for me, I wrapped them in my love and draped my honor over their caskets. In tropics, in deserts, and in seas. Yes, they still lie in Flanders fields in France, in the Punch Bowl in Hawaii, in the outskirts of Manila, the Philippines, and in many other places under the sun as well as under the sea. I never forget them. I rise every morning. I rise and think of the finest men whose years were short, but whose service was longer than we can ever measure. Yes, I, the American flag, have lived long, traveled far, endured much. 1,000,000 bodies have been broken to give me the right to speak. So now I break my long silence, and it's my turn to preach. Listen. I shall speak about my land, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, her tragedy and her triumph, her sins and her shames and her glory. I shall speak about my world, for my heart weeps for all nations, all men and women and little children of every race, creed, and color. I, the American flag, now speak. I say first, be proud of your country. There's so much about her that is beautiful, compassionate, tender, powerful, yet gentle. Oh, I have listened to her children, and I see them every day, little ones and older ones, by the millions, pledge their allegiance to me in their schoolrooms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, I looked into their faces, the Brownies, the Cub Scouts, in the little leagues, in the pony leagues, in the minor leagues, yes, and the major leagues, where tens of thousands rise with respect as I make my gallant entrance to the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Yes, I've been stained. I've been spit upon. I have been burned. I have been torn. I have been defiled by detractors for 200 years. Still, I'm proud of the country that I fly over, its schools, its courts of law, its assembly halls where laws are passed. I'm proud of my country, the managers, the laborers, the firemen, policemen, the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, the Air Force, all dedicated to preserving the dignity of our human beings. I, the American flag, speak. Listen. In spite of her sins, and there are many, in spite of her shame, and it's made conspicuous, America is not without a source of pride, even today. Show me any other country that is stainless, shameless, spotless, or sinless, over whose people I can fly with greater honor. I'm proud to fly over my imperfect America, for I know of no other people who have been swifter to unselfishly borrow and spend billions of dollars to sail strange seas and soar through frightening skies to rescue beleaguered and besieged people with skin colors and facial features and languages and foreign religions that seemed really odd to the kid from Peoria, Illinois, and Sioux City, Iowa. But their hearts never noticed the differences, for the young GIs saw them only as oppressed, tortured, hurting human beings crying for help. So our crew-cut American soldiers, with pluck, plowed on through the mud, leaving a trail of their own blood, as they liberated people they had never seen before and would never see again, and along the way they found time to deliver a baby from a primitive mother and pass out chewing gum to the kids. And with the peace, they simply, all they wanted was to go home and have apple pie that Mom could bake. So they never aimed to conquer territory, or to build a world empire, or to exploit the wealth and the riches of these countries. For over 200 years, I, the American flag, have been packed in the trunks and suitcases of doctors, missionaries, teachers, educators, agriculturalists. And together we traveled to China, to India, to Africa, to Japan, to the uttermost parts of the earth, just to share the better life that we were enjoying in America. Here these ambassadors of goodwill built institutions and dug wells and established hospitals and taught people about sewers and sanitation. I'm proud of our country, and I hope you're proud that you're an American. So be proud, be confident, be bold. You, in America, can do anything you want to do. You can climb any mountain. Possibilities, they're unlimited. Except as you limit them with a cynical attitude or a bitter or negative spirit. Yes, when you see me flying in the legislative halls, schools, courtrooms, and churches, listen to the rustle of my stars and stripes as I cry out to every boy and girl, every man and woman, dream a beautiful dream. Dare to believe in yourself. You can make it in America. I'm the American flag. I have a second word for you. First, be proud. My second word is be humble. Look now at the sins that still remain and settle for nothing less than to make a commitment to do what you can do where you are with what you have to clean up the sin and the shame. I do not need to tell you what your sins are. I think you know. Deep down in your heart, you know. Be humble enough to know where your glory and greatness came from. Old glory, they called me. They still do. My glory is the freedom that I give to every law-respecting man, woman, and child. But mark this and mark it well. Freedom depends on morality. The Ten Commandments, the Sermon on the Mount, the Word of God have been the foundation stones of the time-tested morality in this country. Remove these foundations and be prepared for future shock that you did not imagine. Loss of liberty. So if my people depart from the virtues and values inherited from God, they will see their freedom fading. So be humble. The high cost of freedom is a commitment to the values and the virtues that God has taught us in the Holy Bible and in other spiritual books. Be humble. Know that without God our stars will be clouded over. The stripes will fade. My glory will depart. And your freedom will erode more than you ever expected. I say, be proud. Be humble. My last word, Be renewed. Get born again. That's my last word. Renew your faith in God. Renew your pledge to follow in His good book. Oh, for 200 years the people came. A motley group of foreigners. They didn't even speak the same language. Think of it. And they all wanted to understand each other. They had to. No country ever started like this. No common language. They had to understand each other. And they all learned English. Hardly had this young nation achieved nationhood when, oh, I remember it, the bowels of this land were torn and ripped in a ghastly civil war, neighbor against neighbor, father against son. Oh, God. But my country survived, and covered wagons gave way to railroads, and railroads to airplanes, and again war came, and depression, soup lines, and suicides. Yet somehow a deep faith surged from the depth of my country's soul, and America survived itself. Then came another war, and another, and still another. I count 4 in a period of only 6 decades in this century. Still the country survived them. How? Listen to me. How did this country survive? What kept this tough young giant standing on his wounded feet through horrific pain? Listen, I ask you a question. Where did the courage come from? Where did the faith come from? Where did the American perseverance come from? Say what you will. You cannot, with all your revisionism, explain the courage and the faith and the toughness of the greatest generations without taking into account her churches, her temples, her holy books. Oh, more than anybody knows, the explanation of this national strength and spirit is found in the words of one whose teachings many in this nation reverence and respect. His name was Jesus Christ. And it's easy for people to believe in God when the war is on. But I've seen that it's hard for some people to be generous and unselfish and caring when they're living in peace and prosperity. I have a prayer. I'm prepared to close soon, but hear the prayer. The prayer is, Our Father's God, to Thee, author of liberty, to Thee we sing. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. Protect us by Thy might, great God, our King. And I have a dream. Oh, I am the dreamer of great dreams. I am the flag of the dreamer of great dreams. And over the next 100 years, which we are just entering, I see this unquenchable, indestructible, unperishable spirit of human freedom. I see it spreading to every nation in the world. I dream of new airports, new doors opening, old walls fading and falling, and old political, narrow-minded ideologies turning to dust. I see selfishness turning to unselfishness. And we will sing, not for this land alone, but be God's mercy shown from shore to shore. And may the nations see that we would good friends be, and form one family a whole world o'er. Many a morning I recall rising at dawning, and I hear the trumpeter in the camps across the slumberings of America. The trumpeter blows the reveille, I see a new day. I see a new America for the new century. I see little children, teenagers, young people who haven't been in religion coming back to the root. I see adults who have been drifting into hedonistic secularism and agnosticism coming back. You heard me speak. Now, take a good look at my face.